world, my name is Nicholas Montez, and you're watching my YouTube channel, Nicholas Montez. Welcome back to another YouTube channel video, everybody. I'm so excited to have y'all back here together again. Now, in today's video, we're going to be discussing something very exciting because we're finally talking about the 8th episode of What If. I can't believe that we're already at the 8th episode of What If. It's been crazy. Like, all these weeks have been going by so fast. Maybe it's just because these shows are coming out on Wednesdays. I don't know. But we finally got the 8th episode of What If. What If Ultron won? This was an episode I was very excited for because everybody kept saying it was a part 1 of the... And then next week is going to be the part 2 of the finale. And I'm very excited for that. But with that said, let's get started talking about this episode of What If. What if Ultron won? Okay, so for me, like last week when I kind of entered the bad with the Thor episode where I said that that was my least favorite episode, I'm gonna open up this video with the good, saying that this episode of What If is my favorite episode of the entire series. And no, I'm not joking. This episode is better than the Captain Carter episode, better than the T'Challa episode, and better than the Zombies episode, which 3 of those episodes were my favorite at the time. And they're still up there. But this episode kind of made my mark of what I wanted to see of something like this. So kind of going into it, the idea of Ultron basically winning at his goal in time just sounded kind of like, because in the Age of Ultron film, it felt like that they didn't really set it up that much. And I mean, yeah, sure. He literally lifted up the entire, like literal blocks of, cinder block of Sokovia up from the ground. But was that horrible? Cause sure, he ripped off Claw's arm and stuff, but he didn't do a lot of stuff that was awful. And sure, he did kill Strucker. But it's like he didn't do a lot of stuff that was awful. And so I guess the way that this episode was meant to be, it didn't set it up very well. But I was completely wrong in the way they did this. Because in this episode, Ultron was menacing. He literally took the Vision's body and made him his own. Basically made it his own character. And he basically used it to destroy everyone on Earth. He destroyed the people. He destroyed everyone on Earth. He used rockets. It's like everything went down. He killed the 4 main Avengers. He killed everyone on Earth. And it's like, how was he able to do this? And then Thanos shows up with the rest of the 5 Infinity Stones, but because he's in Vision's body, Vision has the Mind Stone, and so Vision, because Ultron's this powerful being now, Vision just lasers Thanos in half. And I'm like, what the heck? I mean, Ultron didn't seem that powerful in Age of Ultron, but like, how is he this powerful? And so then he lasers the stones out of the gauntlet, and then he gets them, and then he's now this powerful being. And then you think that because Ultron is just more of a human threat, he would just invade Earth. But now that he has the Infinity Stones, and likewise the Infinity Stones are probably the greatest power in the universe, he doesn't just invade Earth. He invades basically the entire universe. Like, he goes to Asgard and destroys it, and basically causes Ragnarok instead of Surtur doing it for him. He goes to the Sovereign, and he destroys that planet and fights the Guardians of the Galaxy. He goes to Ego and kills that planet along with Ego himself. He goes to Sakaar, where Korg and the Grandmaster are. He goes to Xandar. And as we've seen that place many times before. Oh, and here's one thing that I was kind of excited going into it, is that that scene where we were getting that fight between Captain Marvel and Ultron Vision, when Ultron was getting lasered out of the sky, I literally thought it was going to be Nova. Because if you get it, Xandar, Nova Corps, Nova, they didn't do that, but if it was, I would be very excited because that is something I was not expecting, as he was just one of those last heroes that could have stopped all of this. And I don't know, maybe he is out there, who knows. But so yeah, Ultron did a lot of shocking things. But then what I also thought this episode did pretty well is the way it kind of dived into the characters of, I think the two characters that kind of really worked for me were Hawkeye and the Watcher. Let's kind of talk about the Watcher for a minute. And honestly, what happens with the Watcher in this episode is crazy. Because as we've seen in like episode 4, we've seen him intervene with like Doctor Strange. I mean, we haven't seen him done anything. We just seen him talk to Doctor Strange. And Doctor Strange knows that he's there. But this is like the episode where, because Ultron literally destroyed like the entire universe, that means now that he knows that there are universes beyond his own, he's just gonna destroy the entire multiverse. And like, this is crazy. And the Watcher has to do everything he can to hide himself so that way Ultron will not destroy the multiverse. And so, I thought that it gave the Watcher a good arc, a really cool arc, as his oath was just to watch, not intervene with any of these situations. It's because if you do, because as we've seen in Loki, it will mess up the timeline, and it will cause Nexus events, and it won't do good for the universe, for the multiverse. And when he gets exposed by all these universes, like, and also, I also love the fight between, Ultron and, the Watcher. I think that was amazing. I think the choreography in that was great. It almost reminded me of Galactus when he bit the universe. And then, he just gets exposed. And he gets trampled. And I loved his character. And everybody's saying that this is basically the Watcher's origin story, and that's true. It is his origin story, because this shows all about the Watcher and what his purpose is in this universe. And then likewise, let's kind of talk about some of the stuff we go with Black Widow and Hawkeye, and I thought they were amazing. Personally, I loved what they did was the action sequences set aside. Black Widow, of course, was amazing in the action side. Hawkeye surprised me because in the Age of Ultron movie, he did some clever action sequences with some arrows, but like, I don't think he did anything exciting up until this point, as he has that endgame look and stuff like that. He has a metal arm, as Phase 2 projects, they always had someone getting their arm ripped off, and I thought it was cool. But he does some very clever action with these arrows, and I love it, and it's kind of something I want to see in live action. I don't think we ever will, but maybe we will one day. And then also, once again, What If is all about bringing these TV shows, different parts of the MCU together. It does a great job of that, as you're bringing back Arnim Zola to do this, to get into Ultron's hive thing, and then you're also bringing back Black Widow actually wielding the Red Guardian shield that we saw in the toy of the Red Guardian toy in Black Widow, but we never technically saw Red Guardian actually like wield the shield. We just saw him have the suit. And I thought that was a cool little detail to the Black Widow film. But then also what I really appreciated was the character of Hawkeye, where he doesn't really want to fight anymore because there's not really anything else to avenge. You're just fighting for yourself. You're not fighting for anything else. You're just fighting for yourself because you just want to save the planet. And I guess that's like you understand what he's going through. His family is dead, and like he lost a lot, and he doesn't really know what else to do. So I thought and then when he sacrifices himself, which I thought was a great callback to Avengers Endgame. I thought that closed out great. So that's my, and then also the ending with Doctor Strange and the Watcher finally teaming up after all these episodes. Can't wait to see the next episode. So I loved this episode. We do have a few nitpicks, so let's move on to the bad now. Okay, so for me, probably the first nitpick I would probably say is I'm not really understanding why Black Widow and Hawkeye, one of the weakest Avengers in the world, are the only ones that that were able to survive Ultron's apocalypse. It just seems a little bit weird how some of the weakest Avengers, some of the weakest MCU heroes, will be able to survive a threat like this. I guess it's just because they're so clever, but it's like Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, Hulk. They were stronger than Ultron. They're stronger than them. They could have survived. But I guess the match, I don't really understand why they decided to choose those characters. And then likewise, I don't really like the scene after Clint dies. Because literally after he dies, they take like a few seconds, and then all Black Widow's worrying about is why Zola didn't act, like, do the stuff with the Hive. And, I mean, I understand you're worrying about that, but you gotta worry about Clint. Like, you should really take a moment to witness of what he just did. So, that's really just a little nitpicks, but overall, I thought this was an amazing episode. I absolutely loved it. My favorite episode of What If so far. So that's my review for What If Episode 8. Thank you. Before I give my final score, please leave some down below. What were your thoughts on What If Episode 8? What If Ultron won? Did you guys love it? Did you guys hate it? Or right in between? Let me know all your thoughts down below in the comment section. With that said, let's get on my scores. Alright, so that's it for my scores, but we are not done yet. We have one more thing to do before we end this video, and that's to talk about some theories I have for this episode specifically. So, let's get started talking about some theories I have for the future, for the last episode next week, and for the future projects. Okay, so for me, I don't really have a lot of theories, but I think the only theory that I can kind of guess is now that we know that Doctor Strange and the Watcher evil Doctor Strange and the Watcher are finally going to be working together to save the multiverse from this Ultron character, they're going to have to team up the characters that we have seen before. They're going to have to team up Captain Carter, T'Challa as Star-Lord, obviously the evil Doctor Strange is recruited, Killmonger, possibly Doctor Strange, Supreme Spider-Man, Sorcerer Supreme Spider-Man, Killmonger's Black Panther, Party Thor, and that's it. Oh, and also Queen Gamora, but I don't know if we're going to be able to see her in that episode next week. I'm not even sure if they're going to show her. I hope they do, but I don't know how it's going to turn out. But then also, the way the whole finale is going to turn out, I have a theory for Spider-Man No Way Home, and everybody's been saying that Doctor Strange has been acting strange in the trailer, and I definitely understand that. He's winking at the camera, he's doing something that doesn't really seem likely of him to do to cause a spell for everybody to forget that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. Obviously, it's not something a normal man would say he would agree to do, but here's my theory of who I think Doctor Strange could be, and I'm not talking about Mephisto. I don't think it's Mephisto. I think it's the evil version of Doctor Strange, where he finally decides that Ultron is now gone, and he's basically free to go around the universe, and now he's planning to do something with the multiverse and cause trouble around it and do something with it. But I don't know if they're doing that, but I want to see it though. Alright, so we have one more thing to do before we end this video. Just one more thing, and that's to talk about my excitement for the finale of next week. So let's get started with talking about that. Okay, so after seeing this episode and seeing the ending of this episode, I'm very excited for the finale. I can't wait to see all of these characters that we have seen for the past episodes finally coming back. I can't wait to see Captain. I hope we at least get some interactions between these characters. I want to see Captain Carter and T'Challa as Star-Lord and Evil Doctor Strange and Party Thor and Black Widow and Queen Gamora and all these characters actually interact with one another and just team up to stop the bad guys. I cannot wait to see this. So, and I'm also wondering how it's going to lead into Doctor Strange 2, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, Spider-Man No Way Home. I'm just excited to see how it's all going to lead into these projects. So I cannot wait for the finale of What If, and I'm excited for other MCU projects. So that's my review for. So that's my excitement for What If Episode 9. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. My Instagram is Marvel6 and my TikTok name is RollinFan. If you guys don't understand those names, head to my About section so you can follow me on all social medias. I'm also on Letterboxd. It's the same name as Instagram, _6_, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.